Welcome back students. This video is for class 7 chapter number 3 animal fibers page number 21. Class 7 chapter number 3 animal fibers page number 21. In earlier video we have seen about clothes, fabric and fibers, wool, then how the wool is made, right? For making the wool there are different procedures, like first they trim the sheep, then they wash the wool, then they separate it according to the length of the hair. Next it is carding, in that the straightening of hair is done, and lastly spinning. In spinning they make yarns, right? And after making the yarn they just go for dyeing. In this the coloring of the yarn is done, and then knitting means making any type of cloth that we needed. So it is done. Then we saw different types of animals from which we get the wool. Clear? So last lecture we have done till here. Now here it is for the next topic is silk. The next topic is silk. Okay, now silk also we get it from animal, or we get it naturally, right? But it is no, we don't get it exactly from an animal, we get it from an insect, and they are called as silkworms. They are called as silkworm. Now as I said, we get it from silkworm, so we should see this life cycle of this silkworm. Okay, before explaining in detail, I'll just show you this diagram. Here they have given life cycle of this silk moth. It is page number 25. So here you can see on a leaf there are several eggs of that insect. Okay, when this eggs hatches, larva comes out of the egg. From this egg we get larva. After that larva, it just goes on producing a shell like structure over it. Okay, the larva produces a shell like structure over it, but it is in the thread like form. Okay, so means you can imagine a bundle or just a round of any bulk of thread. Okay, so it is like that. And after that thing, means this larva goes under inside an egg. Okay, it forms a thread like structure, a shell like structure over itself, and after few days what happens, it breaks and comes out as an fly. Okay, it is an adult fly. Again this adult fly lays egg. That egg becomes larva goes under that, which is called as pupa, and that pupa again breaks to form an adult. So this is the life cycle of the silkworm. Okay, so is this clear now? Okay, first now we will go in detail form. Okay, now what happens, the female silk moth lays about 300 to 400 eggs. Means one insect lays about 300 to 400 eggs, and after that which hatch within 7 to 14 days. Means after 7 to 14 days from this egg the larva comes out, and this is the larva of the silk moth. Okay, so this is the larva of the silk. Now what happened, the larva can feed only on mulberry leaves. Now this larva, what they do, they just take this larva and put them on the mulberry leaves. Now mulberry is a type of plant. Okay, and this larva eat only this leaves. Okay, so they like cows eat only grass, so this like that only these eat only mulberry leaves. So they survive on the mulberry leaves, and after the growth it means, however during the growth phase it can eat tougher mulberry leaves as well. Means initially they eat small leaves, and as they grow up they eat big or tougher, means thick, the old leaves. Okay, after that the larva stage lasts for 21 days, and in this condition it means in this worm like condition it stays for almost 21 days. And after that the larva first builds a web around itself to support its body. After that it starts building a web around its body. Okay, slowly and gradually it builds a web like a spider builds a web, but it is in means what we can say wall like form. It but this larva builds the web in a shell like form, means around its body only. Okay, and it remains in the body, sorry, it remains in that shell only. So it starts secreting fine protein. Means fine protein means what, means making this type of what we can say thread like structure around it, and that is called as pupa. Now what happens, yeah, to which hardens or exposure to air to spin a cocoon around itself. Now what happens, when it secretes the protein, secretes so means when it secreting means giving out the protein from the body. Okay, means when it gives the protein out of the body, first it is in liquid form, but as soon as it comes in contact with the air, it becomes harder. Okay, as soon as it comes in contact with the air, it becomes harder, like a nail paint, right? When it is in bottle, it is in liquid form, but when you expose it to air, what happens? It becomes solid. Similarly, the protein which comes from the larva, initially it is in the liquid form, but as soon as it comes in contact with air, it becomes solid form, and it becomes a thread like thing surrounded around the larva. And the color of the cocoon varies depending on what the silkworm eats, means how or what type of mulberry leaves it eat. From that, the color of the silkworm is decided. Okay, and it forms a pupa. Okay, this type of structure is called as pupa. After that, the pupa undergoes many changes inside the cocoon. The pupa takes around 10 to 14 days to form an adult moth, which breaks the cocoon and comes out. And after 10 to 14 days, what happens? This larva, inside only, it keeps on growing. Okay, and it forms this moth or a fly like structure. It forms inside the egg. Okay, egg or shell. And after 14 days, what happened? The shell breaks and this type of thing comes out. Okay, so this is the life cycle of the silk moth. Now this is about the life cycle, but what about the sericulture? Now sericulture means making of silk. Okay, the silk is a type of cloth or fabric. Normally we get it in the market, and it is very smooth and shiny, and yeah, it is quite attractive. Okay, so we get this now silk from this silkworm, but how do we get? And for this, the silkworm are means how the ships are reared for wool. Similarly, this silkworms are reared for silk, and that rearing of them or means keeping them and growing them, and also to feeding them, all this process is called as sericulture, and making silk from them is called as sericulture. Okay, so we will see about the sericulture. Here you can see first rearing the silkworm. Okay, wait, first I will explain you. Now here you can see that in sericulture, the rearing of silkworm for the production of silk is known as sericulture. Okay, as I said, rearing of silk for the production of silk, rearing of silkworm for production of silk, okay, is called as sericulture. Now again, like in wool, there was several steps like scoring, shearing, grading, and all that. Similarly, sericultures to have some steps. Okay, so what are those steps? Now cultivation of food for this silkworm, rearing of silkworm. Okay, these are all the steps we will describe. We will study it in detail only. Now the eggs of the silk moth are incubated until they hatch into a larva. So what happens? The eggs. What happens? The eggs. Here you can see the eggs. So these eggs are collected and kept at a warm place. Okay, incubated means warm place where they can become a larva. Okay, so a safe and warm place where they can become a larva. So they are collected and kept in an incubation. Next, the larvae are fed on mulberry leaves for about 6 weeks. Means after the hatching of eggs, means when the larva comes out of the egg, they are fed on mulberry leaves for about 6 weeks. Okay, so this larva is means fed, means what? In the incubation box, what they do, they just goes on putting mulberry leaves, and this larva keeps on eating them and also growing. So during this period, each silkworm eats continuously. So the larva eats continuously. Each means they eat the mulberry leaves continuously and grows. So each silkworm sheds into skin for 4 times, and it is called molting. So they, while growing, they shed the skin, means older skin. You know, you might have heard that when snakes grows, okay, when snakes grows, after a certain period of time, every time it sheds its skin, means it's remove all the old skin and it develops with a new skin. So that is called as shedding of the skin. Similarly, silkworm also sheds skin, that is also 4 times in these 6 weeks, and it is called as molting. Okay, now small branches are placed in rearing house. Now after eating, what happens? this larva grows, and now it's time to form the pupa. Now it will not form anywhere. Okay, normally they stick to the branches of the trees. Okay, so normally if this is a branch of the tree, it will stick there. So this pupa sticks over the branches of the tree. So what they do, they just insert small branches inside the place where all the silkworms are growing. So they, at this place, the silkworm climb these branches and start spinning their what we can say cocoon. Okay, so they just goes on spinning their cocoon and stick at the branches of the branches which are provided to them. Next, the cocoons are then gathered and boiled or heated. Now it is a very cruel thing, means actually I feel it cruel. Why? Because the cocoon, inside the cocoon there is a live or living larva, right? The larva is live inside the cocoon, but what they do, they just, after when the growth of shell is completed, what they do, they just take out all the cocoons and they keep it or put them in the boiling water. Now due to that boiling water, what happens, the larva inside the cocoon dies. Okay, so the cocoons are then gathered and boiled or heated. So they are just boiled, just they are put in the boiling water, and due to which all the larva inside the cocoon dies. The filaments are obtained, and then the shells, they are taken out, means then the larva is thrown out and the cocoons are taken, and it is done on special machines that unwind the threads, and then the bundle of those silk, they, what they do, they insert inside a machine, and then the machine will just remove all the knots and everything, and it will make a fine and straight thread of that cocoon. Okay, so the silk fibers are then spun into silk thread, and then the thread is made in a bundle, and that we call it as silk thread, and from that thread we get we make different clothes. Now to get 1 kg of silk, okay, to get that 1 kg of thread, 5500 silkworms are required, means they kill 5500 of cocoons, 5500 of silkworms to make 1 kg of silk. So this is quite a cruel thing, right? But this is the process, so we have to study about the process. Next, and again the silk, using this silk, what they do, they make clothes. Now in making the clothes and doing this sericulture, the people who are working over there gets some diseases. Okay, means the people who works in the factory of making silk gets many diseases, and these diseases are respiratory diseases such as asthma, bronchitis. Now respiratory diseases, why? Because when they boil the cocoon, okay, they obviously don't boil in, means not only with water but also with certain chemicals, and the chemicals goes inside the nose of those humans or the workers who are working over there, due to which what happens, they get different respiratory means the the from our nose to our lung there is a track. Okay, from our nose to our lung, from the air which we take inside goes to our lung through a track, and that is called a respiratory tract. So the respiratory tract gets many diseases like asthma in which it becomes difficult to breathe. Okay, and bronchitis, it is of lung, so they get different diseases. Next, the worker have to insert their unprotected hands into hot water. Next, to again while boiling, they have to keep stirring the cocoons, and that for that they have to insert their hand inside the boiling water, and due to which they get injury in the hand or peeling of the skin. So this result in peeling of the skin, which may lead to skin infections. Clear? With this the chapter ends. Now in next lecture we will go for exercise. Clear? So we will see multiple choice question, fill ups, true or false, brief and answering detail. Thank you.